Today, I'll tell you a super glue hack that cops do not want you to know about. Let's go ahead and jump into it. As you can see, we have our super glue and just your typical cheap baking soda, not even the name brand. Now I have some spread out in one pile on this side, and in just a moment, I'll show you exactly what cops don't want you to know, and there's a lot of good reason for this. So we'll go ahead and start off by plenty of glue here, plenty of glue here. Oops, and we may have used a little too much glue. Now, let's take this cup. Obviously, you can see it's still very wet, the super glue is. Already you can see how dry it is. I mean, look, see for yourself. It's essentially like glass. It's already hardened in just a second. Pretty incredible. If you've ever tried to hold two things together, then you know how hard it can be. Now, I do want you to understand this is not cured, okay? It's only set up, which is still a massive problem. As I said, if you're trying to place two things together, for example, these two cups, as you can see, if I were to put super glue on them, this is what I would have to do. Go ahead and have my baking soda ready. Take my cups. Go ahead. Put a little bit of super glue on there. I'll even add a little bit on this one. Don't want to completely cover it. Just let it move around a little bit on the cups. As I said, in just a moment, you're really going to find out what they don't want you to know. And we'll go ahead and hold them together. Mind you, some things are almost impossible to hold together for multiple reasons. Now let's see. Won't hold up. As I said, it's not going to cure either way. Oh, it's dripping. Okay. All right. Now we're going to hold this in our hand. Try to do it this way. Let's go ahead, douse you a little bit on it. We only got one small corner. And look at that. As I said, it's set up. It's a lot stronger than what you would think. So, cyanoacrylate must be in the glue if it's going to even work. And yes, this is a car tire, which potentially with a nail inside of it, causing it to leak air. So this is what they don't want you to know. And like I said, make sure you get a glue that has cyanoacrylate in it. This makes it be able to bond much faster, and said by many to be much stronger. You can even use this to actually make O-rings of the proper size that you need. It's actually recommended by the manufacturers. Now, always consult the manufacturer before trying something on some very expensive equipment. So, you think you can actually fix a flat tire with this stuff? Okay, before you decide to fix an O-ring, the first thing that you want to ask yourself is if it's a dynamic application, which is moving parts coming into contact with the O-ring, or a static application, which is basically no moving parts coming into contact with the O-ring. if there are many moving parts around the O-ring, then I wouldn't suggest using that method. However, if not, then proceed with caution. Not only can you splice an O-ring, but you can splice one that's not even circular. That's right, one that's not even circular. So you can use this as a filler. What you'll want to do is go ahead and apply this to an area. It works on wood, plastic. People have even used it for metal parts. Like I said, always consult the manufacturer first, but then they'll use a baking soda layer. As it bonds up, then they'll go ahead and add another layer, another layer, another layer. They'll sand it down to what is needed if they need a flat surface or anything of that nature. Now there's this silly myth that it's used for airplane propellers. Guys, there's so many regulations on that. I can just tell you it's absolutely not allowed. For example, using it on a tire. I actually seen a video all about this. And let me tell you something, guys. You can see no problem area, no nail. The point is, I don't believe it. And someone trying to do something like this and drive on the road, they're not just endangering themselves, but they're endangering others as well. So I absolutely did not do this. There's no problem here. If I did have a nail, I definitely wouldn't be trying to use super glue to fix it. As I said, it is used for O-rings though. And cops obviously would not want you to use this on something like that. And I see these videos going around. Do not do this, guys. If it comes down to a safety issue, it's not something we can afford to have on the road. You're placing others in danger. Please do not do this. And if you see any of this content, please let them know to warn people. If they're just doing something for show, to at least let the viewers know, because people will try anything. I'm sure you guys can vouch for it, or tell us some of the stories that you've heard about. For example, using super glue for airplane propellers. Could you imagine the outcome? As I said, it's not even allowed, okay? Let alone someone actually doing it. Pretty incredible. People believe this stuff. As always, guys, give us all the information you can. We really appreciate it, because there's a lot of bad info going around. Thanks for watching. Nate's Interactive Auto.